welcome to our midterm presentations. You see here in the bottom, you always see the presentation name, the slide title, and then the sources over there. And in our semester, or this semester, we were talking about cultural heritage sites. And you probably all know this place, but I'm going to ask you a question. How many thousand slaves worked on the Great Pyramids? Any idea?
10K.
Yeah. 10K, it's quite a lot.
20K.
20K, even more, all right. What about you?
50K.
50K. 50,000 would be a lot of people, right? So the answer may shock you, because actually there were 0 slaves working on the pyramids.
That's true.
All of the people working on the pyramids were actually paid workers because it was an honor. And they figured this out because they looked at the pyramids, and besides the pyramids, the workers were buried. So, with this out of the way, to get you into the right mood, I'm going to first start with our trailer. I didn't cut the trailer here, but trailer is going to run.
1 minute.
So, after that trailer, we're going to go first into our mood board. You see here, we really got into this desert theme and tried to get into the environments. You see this here is from Assassin's Creed Origin. A lot orange, a lot sand, but also water and green. Then going further, the user POV, you're going to say we're going to make, because it's virtual reality, it's a first-person experience. And you'll see here, it's kind of claustrophobic because we're going to go inside the pyramid. Then going further, we'll have a narrator, and the narrator is going to look something along those lines. And then here you see our interactions. We have objects that you can interact with, and we try to keep our interactions as physical as possible, or as real as possible. Then for UI design, obviously what you have most is the hands in virtual reality, and we're going to make those also realistic so that you don't have any funky stuff on there, but they're like real hands. So let's go on from the mood block and take a closer look at the pyramids. In the ancient times, the pyramid wouldn't have looked like this. They actually would have been clear white, built out of limestone, and then the main pyramid probably had something like a golden detail on top to make it stand out from the rest. If we take a look inside the pyramids, you can see here there are a couple of shafts. Way at the bottom, we have the false tomb. And the false tomb would be the easiest to access from the entrance, and they made it so that if there were raiders or somebody that wants to plunder the pyramid, they're going to go in and go into the false tomb, and there are probably also a lot of traps or something here to keep unwanted people away. If we then go up from the entrance, we have first the Queen's Chamber, and then after the Grand Gallery, we have the King's Chamber. Above the King's Chamber, there are relieving blocks, and those would have been placed there in order to relieve the weight of the pyramid above. Also, in these chambers is where an inscription of the name Khufu was found, which was the pharaoh that built these pyramids. Then here we have some air shafts, and then there are some more paths that were probably dug out by explorers or thieves or other tomb raiders. All right. I'm gonna go back because I forgot that. For our project, we're not going to go into the King's Chamber, Queen's Chambers, or False Tomb, but we're going to focus on the entrance and Grand Gallery at first. But later down the line, the idea is to be able to explore the whole pyramid, obviously. So we're going to start at the entrance, and I'm going to walk you through the user journey. And while we talk about the user journey, I want to talk about some of the mechanics and interactions that are possible in our prototype. So let's first start with locomotion. Upon entering the pyramid, there will be a multitude of different ways you will have to find your way around the environment. So here is one of them. If you go inside, there will be some narrow corridors where you really have to walk sideways in order to get through. Then, going further, you may encounter paths that are blocked or that will be opened at a later stage in the experience. And if you are at such a crossway, you will have to take some alternative route, which will maybe force you to, go crouch or even prone in order to get through that space. Okay, going further down the line, now we are in front of the Grand Gallery. The Grand Gallery is over here, and here would be the way to the Queen's Chamber, which is blocked for now. And along in the pyramid, there will be a lot of details, and some of the details, which could be something like a snake symbol, will be hints in order to find and connect different aspects in the pyramids, maybe to solve puzzles or to find secret pathways. So you can see here, if you find some sort of symbol that's probably connected to something else in the pyramid, which you can then explore and solve puzzles with. Then we also, we're probably not going to do that for the prototype, but we have our little ghost companion or narrator that will help the player if he gets stuck to navigate the space, or will give some more insight into the pyramid, give some more historical context. Then we go on, another interaction, moving objects. This is called a bendman stone, and they had those in the pyramids, and you will be able to move this block in order to find new pathways and explore the pyramid further. Then, from there, let's go on to the Grand Gallery. In our prototype, the Grand Gallery will be the main focus point and the area we're going to spend the most time on building out. You see here, Grand Gallery, there are some hieroglyphs inscribed on the walls and so on. It's going to be really focused on the details. And in the middle, there's going to be a broken boat. And this boat would be something that the pharaohs had for the afterlife, to be able to go into the infinite seas of the afterlife. The player will have to go through in the whole thing, go through the whole pyramid in order to be able to assemble, to reassemble this boat. In our prototype, you will be able to reassemble the boat, and when the boat is reassembled, you see that it will change color and lead into the second phase of our experience. The second phase is going to bring us to the spiritual realm, let's say. And this spiritual realm is where we connect to our second semester topic, over reality. Over reality is a word the whole group sort of coined, and it's something above reality. It's a heightened reality, and how we interpreted this was that after you assembled the boat and explored the whole pyramid, you're gonna go onto that boat in the spiritual realm with the pharaoh as sort of a enlightened, wise figure that's gonna take you on this journey through this spiritual land. You see here we have a lot of colors that are kind of abstract. You're maybe gonna have these things the pyramids in the background with some different colors, and overall it should really be an abstract, kind of above reality, heightened experience. Then of course we have the water to be able to reflect, and the pharaoh in this section will kind of give you an insight, maybe advice on how life is lived basically as an enlightened figure. Then now let's take a look below the surface at how we want to make this happen. First, let's start with the technical challenges. So challenge 1, being precise. Precise modeling so that the whole pyramid is there in detail and you really can explore everything. In order to do that, we want to go along with the Assassin's Creed Origins map, because they already did a lot of those work, getting those details, even going to Egypt. We don't have the time to go to Egypt, so we're gonna reference them in order to create our map. And at first, we'll focus on the Grand Gallery and a couple of corridors for the entrance. Then challenge 2, create high-end authentical graphics. We want to create an experience where you can really feel like you are there at the pyramids. So this means realistic lighting, realistic textures, and also realistic physical interaction. So if you want to kick a rock, you can kick a rock. We want to achieve that with the Quixel Megascans library. They have a lot of assets that are 8K quality and above, and we can use that to really make it look like it's nice. Yes.
Wouldn't that be performance heavy?
Good point. This is why we have here PCVR. So at first we're not going to develop for the Quest or any mobile platform, but we're going to focus on PCVR in order to have this power to create a realistic experience. Then our third challenge is create functional and fun mechanics while integrating all of the systems. We are a group of 4 people, and we each have to work together in order to make this possible. And this will be challenging to create it in such a way that it all works together in the end. And also to get back to the performance, what we talked about, we want to create multiple levels and then seamlessly transition between them. You can, I don't know if you know, but in games like Portal, you go into the elevator, and then you drive the elevator, and then you go out, and it seems like nothing happens, but in reality, you go into the elevator, a level unloads, another level loads, and then you go out. We want to try to create something like that with darkness, where if you go into a dark corridor, the level behind you will unload, and then the next level can load in seamlessly. You just can walk on. Next one. Can watch for the time a little bit next time. Next, our gunshot. This is a simplified view. We have 2 sprints we had already, and we have 3 new next sprints planned. And you're gonna see a detailed view of this gunshot attached at the end of the presentation or in the document included that we send you. So let's see what we want to do. In the first sprint, first half, initial setup and creating and finding the assets, assemble them all together so that the next steps can be streamlined. Then here at the top, we're going to start with basic scripts, and at the bottom with VFX prototyping, because it's a little thing we need. These are, I made those up. So. Then next, one of the longest things we're going to do is level design, and Oscar is going to handle level design the whole way through, almost to the end of the project, while we'll set up the virtual reality player and work on the locomotion system. Then afterwards, here at the top, we're going to create the mechanics, so all the interaction, being able to physically interact with objects and even with the boat. And then at the bottom here, after the prototyping, we have animation and FX. Then we're going to work on the story and narration. And finally, we'll have user testing and continuous testing and optimization in the bottom. And at the top, we're going to have our documentation and trailer, and then the rest is going to work on the final presentation. So, this is how we want to do it, but you know, there are risks in those waters. So first risk is time management. We have to really plan the time and try that all our tasks, because they build upon one another, we have to make good estimations of how long we're going to take with each task. So if we don't do that, the consequence is the project cannot be finished, and that would suck. Second risk, being too ambitious. We already tried to take our vertical slice and really only focus on the grand gallery, the entrance, and then this little section with the spiritual realm. But even those are kind of 2 projects. So this is one of the risks, that we cannot do both at the same time, and thus the quality of both are gonna be bad because of that. So we'll have to see if we can do both of them at the same time. Of course, the consequence is that maybe we do cool visuals if we focus on the wrong thing, but the gameplay or logic will not be there. And then the third risk is working off of bad information or wrong information, portraying the history, because we want to create this realistic implementation and also, you know, teach you about the history. We have to have a good research in order to provide that. And this is kind of hard. This is maybe the biggest risk, because there are different accounts about this pharaoh Khufu, which we show as an enlightened figure, but in Greek documents, a couple of 100 years later, the pharaoh was described as a tyrant and suppressing his people. So, you know, we are not sure of what to take there. And to show you how hard it is to get those things accurate, I'm going to show you a fun fact. This is Cleopatra. You all know Cleopatra lived 69 to 30 BC roughly, so about the time of the Romans, which the Roman Empire has still, you can see the effects around today, but this is for us infinitely far away, and we're about here, you know, iPhone in 2007. But if we look at when the pyramids were constructed, all the way over here, 2500 before Christ. So you know, the iPhone is closer to Cleopatra to the construction of the pyramids. 4,500 years ago. And this is why also the information is kind of blurry, because, you know, that long ago, only a few first-hand accounts have survived. And with that, I thank you for listening, and if you have questions, go ahead.